All right, guys. What's up? Welcome to episode 5 of the Talk Before You Run podcast. All right. Minus the technical difficulties. Welcome to episode 5 of the Talk Before You Run podcast. Um, as always, we're going to start with sports. Then, we're going to talk a little bit about a YouTuber who has had a little bit of issues in the past and is now going through health issues now, as well as we got a list of video games that's coming out this year. One specific game in general we're going to give a little bit more information on, and then, robots are going to take over the world. So, Super Bowl is coming up. Beaker, I know you're a little salty. I get it. I get it. I'm a little salty about it too.
No, you're not. That's exactly what you wanted to happen. That's exactly what you wanted to happen.
All right. Look, I did give that pick too, because I did want to see the Kelce Super Bowl, and that's what we're getting.
I guess that's the only thing is it would have gone either way. The way we had originally planned, where it was, Niners and Cincinnati, but I guess Kelce and Kelce. It's not a bad.
Kelce and Kelce also, I don't know if you've seen this, but Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, the first two starting black quarterbacks to play in the Super Bowl against one another in NFL history. So there's another thing on top of that. So, I never even realized that until, I read it myself. So, Kelce versus Kelce Super Bowl, that's what we're getting. Kansas City versus Philadelphia. I'm not real pleased in the way that the games turned out last week because, the Bengals Kansas City game was a really good game, minus the fact that they kept getting a bunch of calls against Cincinnati that were a little sus, and a couple calls that weren't called that needed to be called, and that whole 3rd and 9 thing that didn't make no sense. So we're going to start off, we're going to talk about the 49ers, actually, and about how, they ended up not having a quarterback come the second half. What was the second half, or right in the third quarter that Josh Johnson went down?
They were, So they were out by the second half. They didn't have a quarterback.
So Brock Purdy, first drive for the 49ers, ended up getting hurt. Tore his UCL in his elbow. So he's actually going to be out in recovery for 6 months. From here to 6 months. Yeah, that's what it turned out to be, a UCL tear. And then, not only that, because Brock Purdy came into the year as their 3rd string quarterback, because they had already lost Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. Brock Purdy was their 3rd string quarterback, and he played, for being a 3rd string quarterback, amazing all year. And it was really, really upsetting to see him go in the game first drive and get hurt and be out. So then they had a guy come in that's been in the league for 15 years, and I didn't even know what his name was.
Didn't know.
I think it was Josh Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. I still don't know what his name. Still not 100% on that.
I know the last name was Johnson, at least.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was Josh Johnson. He's been in the league for 15 years, over a decade, and I had never heard of him before. And with the way that he was playing, I can definitely see why. But unfortunately, he ended up going out as well with a concussion. San Francisco had no quarterback. So I do not blame San Francisco for the game that they had because of that reason. But, man, it was hard to watch. Especially considering that was the first pick that I gave. That was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was super aggressive. It came out of the gate. The Eagles, they were just super aggressive,
Yeah, I think they were playing a little bit dirty.
Yeah, I think so, too, from the start.
Something's got to be going on.
Yeah, it's... Man, like I said, that game, if Brock Purdy wouldn't have got hurt, it might have went a completely different direction. But there's no telling. He got hurt on the first drive. So there's really no telling what would have the ending outcome would have been of the game. But they came out, like I said, Philadelphia came out playing strong. The 49ers defense came out playing just as strong. And they held Philadelphia for a while after Brock Purdy got hurt. But, I mean, eventually the defense just kind of gave up on him because there was nothing. And they started playing really, really, really frustrated. They had a couple fights on the field, which one of them actually led to an ejection. It was in my opinion, kind of shouldn't have led to an objection, but it
Dude
did
was just trying to
anyways.
help.
Yeah, the man wouldn't get off of him, so I mean, he was trying gently to get him off, and he wouldn't.
Wouldn't let go. So what's next?
He grabbed him and slung him. I mean, what else was he supposed to do?
Strength to
Yeah, I mean, he slung him clean to the ground, and of course he got up and threw a punch at him. So that's why he got ejected.
Like, what if you were in his spot and you had to get that dude off of him? What would you do?
I'd have done the same thing.
Yeah.
You're on my guy, wrestling with my guy. I'm trying to get you off of him. I'm being nice about it to start with. And you will not let the dude go. I'm going to sling your ass.
It's not, I mean, I don't think there was any wrong there. But, I mean, the getting up and then swinging on him, that's different. It was just like, bro, you got thrown down. It's not like he, like, body slammed you or anything. He grabbed you, spun you around and threw you pretty much. Like, you wouldn't let go. He just ripped you off. That was it. You were mad that he manhandled you.
Yeah, it made you look dumb on live television because he done slung you to the ground. And see, one thing I never did understand, as many times as I've watched it and I've watched these people get up and swing on somebody, why would you swing on someone who has a helmet on? Where does that make any sense? I mean, all right, I get it. You get frustrated, but at some point in time, you got to think these helmets are protecting these people's or were made to protect these people's heads from high impact collisions, running full speed, 200 plus pounds colliding on both ends. You think your punch is gonna do something?
I mean, like when you're really angry, you probably wouldn't think about that.
No, I mean, I get that you might be angry, but at some point in time, that's got to click in your head.
In situations like that, like you're not
punching, but
yeah, well, you don't get mad and you learn to control your emotions in situations like that. Like you're in a professional league, like that situation is bound to like you take the anger out in the field, not in front of everybody starting a fight.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. You're playing. Okay, you're already playing a physical contact sport.
If you're mad, go out there and hit somebody harder.
Yeah.
I mean, throw a little bit more oomph behind it.
I never understood that. Like hockey, I mean, I get it because they let you just throw down, but if you're gonna get ejected, don't don't throw hands.
And hey, at least make it worth it. Take the fucker to the ground. You know what I'm saying?
But I thought this was like never back down and.
Oh yeah, he come in there trying to swing haymakers at somebody wearing headgear. I never did understand that, but no. As far as the outcome of the game went, man, like I said, that was hard to watch because I really wanted the 49ers to win because I really wanted Brock Purdy to come in here and go to the Super Bowl, but now he's got a long road of recovery. I do know he was trying to get a second opinion to not have surgery. Whether or not he found that second opinion, I don't know. But as
he did go through with the surgery.
Yeah, I think as of right now, I do believe he did go through with the surgery, so his recovery time is about 6 months. Before he'll be able to pick up a football again and start, getting back into even trying to play.
It's never the same after healing,
No,
it's never the same. Even if you fully recover, it's never a fully recover because there's always that weak spot that's created now.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, it's the mentality behind it too. I mean, you go out there and you get hurt, and then you come back into the game, and you're a little bit more tentative when you're playing because you don't want to get hurt again.
I just think, like more or less, like it comes to like the mentality part, but that could be a little more overcome rather than that weak spot. The weak spot's going to be there because it's already been damaged.
Yeah.
But I mean, thinking about it all the time in the middle of a game kind of has its effects. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and who's to say he doesn't go on to have a 15 years career that it never bothers him again? I mean, one of the perfect examples of that is Aaron Rodgers. A few years ago, broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
Had surgery. He's come back these last few years, and he's played great, almost like it would have never happened. And I mean, it's one of those things that you'll never know until he gets back out on a football field and sees where things go. So of course, to the heartbreaking game, Kansas City and the Bengals. This game, it is confirmed that Switch did pay the referees.
Yeah.
He paid
That's
them
why
with
I'm so poor.
he paid them with Lunchables.
Yep. And box tops.
Oh,
Did he give me
Lunchables and
any?
box tops. Oh, Switch pulled out the big
He been
bucks for
saving
this one.
since he was a
Yo,
kid.
wait. Yeah. Why didn't I get a Lunchable?
You wasn't refereeing the game.
You weren't a referee
I
in
didn't
the
have to be a
game.
referee.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You wasn't ref in the game. You couldn't predict the outcome.
Yeah, I only pay refs.
Yeah.
I could
So
be a ref.
Switch got what he wanted. Actually, both of Switch's teams
Yeah.
are going to be playing in the Super Bowl. Kansas City versus Philadelphia. We are going to have a Kelsey Super Bowl, which is the one thing that I was kind of excited about if they did go.
The only thing. Other than that, there's no other reason for them
Yeah,
to be there.
there's no other reason that I want them to be there other than the fact that I
Done.
wanted the Kelsey Super Bowl, and I guess at this point, I don't even know who I'd be pulling for in this game. I
See,
really
I'm
don't.
glad
Not
I know
Eagles.
who I am. I know who I am.
I'm glad the Chiefs won that game, but I'm kind of disappointed with how they won.
Yeah, there was a few things that either should have been called or wasn't called that should have that kind of screwed Cincinnati over.
Exactly.
Honda.
Man, and like even that last play that unsportsmanlike that gave him the extra 15 yards to kick the go ahead field goal to win the game. I did see where they said that flag should have never have been thrown because he had only took one step out of bounds. And being Tally was not considered a defenseless runner as well, that flag shouldn't have been thrown. But also on the punt right before, there was a block in the back that wasn't called that should have pulled them further back. And I mean, there was just a whole bunch of things throughout that game that kind of screwed Cincinnati over. You can't really say the 3rd and 9 thing where the clock was running when it wasn't supposed to, and them getting to replay the down because they still ended up getting the ball back anyways. They still forced them to punt the ball. So I mean, a lot of people are trying to throw that in the argument, but at the same time, I don't think that had any effect on anything as far as the outcome of the game. But it was still a close game, a 3-point game. I mean, it was still fun to watch. It started off slow. I will say that the game started off slow, and then it really picked up. Both quarterbacks started doing some great things. Even Patrick Mahomes with his ankle being hurt, which is kind of really the only thing we got to watch out for the Super Bowl. Other than that, there's no other injuries. As far as
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that would be the only reason Eagles because they're aggressive. They really are. And I think if they see that as a as a weak spot for him, they may take
Right.
advantage of it.
yeah, and I mean,
And that's what I'm saying is basing a team around one person is a lot easier, but it has major repercussions when they get injured.
Exactly.
yeah. Well, I guess
Mhm.
the only thing is, I mean, Kansas City's got a lot of star power in their team, so even if he can't, I mean, he is going to play if something was to happen, that he is taken out of the game or whatever. They should be able to fit in a new quarterback that can. Now they
They
won't
had
be
to
as good, but they'll still be able to compete.
they had to replace Mahomes not the last game, but the game before that, like just for like
A quarter, huh?
a quarter, didn't it? Yeah, I think so. But I don't remember the dude's name. And he wasn't too bad.
I know his last name started with an L. I'm not 100% sure. He's also an older quarterback that's kind of been in the league for a little bit. But he actually
As,
went out there and I do believe scored on that drive that he had before halftime.
yeah, I'm thinking as long as the Chiefs can hold their defense, even if Mahomes does get injured, we should be able to pull it off.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for a really good Super Bowl between these two teams because they are both really good teams.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I'm
Wait,
kind of excited for the Pro Bowl too. What was you fixing to say, Febno?
did didn't Trevor Lawrence replace Patrick Mahomes for like a quarter?
No, Trevor Lawrence plays for a whole different team. He plays for the
uh,
Oh,
Jaguars. They were eliminated
no, I
in
could have
the second
swore.
round.
No, not him.
That's crazy.
There's
You're gonna
there's
bring him.
another dude.
I mean, his last name did start with an L, but I don't remember what it was.
Get my guy Trevor Lawrence out your mouth, all right?
Beaker said, "Don't you disrespect Trevor Lawrence like that."
My fault.
Um, but no, I think this is going to be a good Super Bowl, even though it's not the outcome that me and Beaker really wanted. But it is one that
Oh,
I'm
it
still
is.
getting.
You were secretly plotting.
I wasn't plotting. I mean, I did want
Yeah.
Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy to play. That was my number one pick. I said that from the start. But I'm not 100% upset that we are getting a Kelsey Super Bowl. Which kind of leads into the whole conspiracy that the NFL is scripted, and the reason why the Bengals got screwed over the way that they did is when Philadelphia won, they knew they had that opportunity for the Kelsey Super Bowl, and they kind of phoned in their referees saying, "Hey, we need Kansas City to win this game," and they
That's a
went out there
good
and did it.
possibility.
It's the argument, but the only problem with that is the amount of pockets that would have to be greased in order
mean,
for one person not to tear down the whole organization.
it's the NFL. It's full of money.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it ain't full of it like that.
Gotcha.
Um, if that's the case, then they could just start WWE styling this shit and scripting the motherfuckers anyways.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it is classified as entertainment, is it not?
No, it's not considered sports entertainment like the WWE is. It's just considered sports because
Mm.
there's no script involved. So I don't think it's considered entertainment as far as the same way that like the WWE and stuff like that would be. But that is a lot of people's arguments, and it's been an argument that's been around the NFL for years that it was scripted. I just don't see that being the case.
Give me like
It
2 seconds. I should be back.
already. It just there's too much chance that you take. I mean, how do you script a kicker going out there and missing a kick to the right or to the left by just a couple inches? So it's just I don't see that being the case. I think it would be too hard. um, but Super Bowl coming up, you know, we
It's
got
at 5:30, by the way.
said 5:30. Okay.
Yep.
And then as well as the Pro Bowl, and the Pro Bowl I'm looking forward to because it's a Manning versus Manning Pro Bowl. Eli Manning taking one team, Peyton Manning taking the other team, and then we got a Kelsey Super Bowl. God, that just makes it sound like it's scripted even more. Brothers versus brothers in the Pro Bowl, brothers versus brother in the Super Bowl. So,
And according to the commercials, Peyton is the favorite.
well, of course, and Jason's the favorite of the Kelseys. It's the oldest brothers. Oh man, this just sounds more and more scripted, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something,
I
but
didn't
you
think
ran
about
into
it.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't think about it when I said that until I said it out loud. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, we're not
It
adding
wouldn't
fuel to
surprise me
this
if it
fire.
was scripted.
What are you talking about? I don't see any other way not to. I mean, look at how things are turning out, Travis. Come on. Come on. I mean,
All right. Now, I
Nice
don't want to
little
add fuel
point.
to this fire, so we're gonna go ahead and give our picks. Switch. Who are you going for in the Super Bowl? Kansas City or Philadelphia?
Oh man, that's a hard decision. I would like to go for the Chiefs, but the Eagles, they played really good. So I'm not 100% sure. You'll have to come back to me and I'll give a definitive answer.
All right, well, I'll come back to you. Ferno, give me yours.
Okay, so if Patrick plays well, which I'm hoping he does, and his injury gets better, I'm gonna go with. That's what I'm hoping for. Um, I gotta really hope that Patrick, his injury gets better, because I want the Chiefs to win.
Well, I mean, look, we've seen it. He can win even on a hurt leg. I mean, and a little bit of
But
referee help, but
like Baker said, the Eagles are playing aggressive, and it wouldn't surprise me if they exploited that little injury.
it wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
So I kept saying that whole game with the Bengals. All one person got to do is step on his leg. I know that sounds bad, but I wanted the Bengals to win. It's just all one person had to do is step on his ankle. That'd have been the end of the Kansas City's playoff run. Beaker, you want to give me your pick?
I do want Chiefs. They definitely don't want Eagles, but the way Eagles have been playing, it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm gonna stick with Mahomes and his team.
Oh man, and I hate that you said that, Beaker, because we've been on the same page for almost this entire playoff run. And well, I mean, maybe this might be a good thing because our picks have not done all that well, Beaker. Look,
Started
it's
out really well.
it's been a little
Started
rough.
agreeing with you, and it just it switched paying him off. That's all.
Yeah, it's all Switch's fault.
Where's Switch getting his money from?
It's Lunchables,
I don't. Yo, bro, that's what we told you, bro. Lunchables and
Do you know how much Lunchables are?
Box tops.
yeah, Lunchables and box tops.
I'll be lucky if I even get the box.
Yeah, he be saving up the Coke bottle caps to trade for the Lunchables.
No, he just does the whole cans to recycle.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Those cans of the revs.
No, I think I'm going Philadelphia with this one. And I say that, and I'm saying that with like the utmost hesitance because it's hard to go against Patrick Mahomes with all of the, and as much as I didn't really want to see him in another Super Bowl, and as good as he is, it's hard to root against him. But also, it's hard to root against Philadelphia and the things that they've done this year.
That's the only, like I said, that's the only reason. I wouldn't be surprised.
And I think it's gonna come down to defense. I really think that's what this game's gonna come down to is who's got the better defense. And in my opinion, I do believe Philadelphia has the better defense of the two.
I was gonna say defense hasn't been all that great for.
Yeah, Kansas City's secondary is not the best in the world right now. I mean, they have been pretty good, but man, with Jalen Hurts and the way that he's playing and the way that his receivers are playing,
yeah, he's hitting.
I don't know, man. I really think this is going to come down to it's going to be because of the defense is why one team's going to be right over the other. And like I said, in my opinion, Philadelphia has the better defense, so I think that's who I'm going with. And it's hard to make that decision.
I don't want to go against them either. Like I don't want to go against Eagles, but it's like,
yeah, it's
I don't want them to win either. Like,
I mean, personally, I mean, I didn't really want to see Patrick Mahomes in another Super Bowl, but at the same time, with how entertaining he is, it's kind of nice to watch. Yeah. I would have just preferred to see another Joe Burrow Super Bowl. Or even like a Josh Allen Super Bowl whenever they were still in the running for the playoffs. But it's hard. It's hard not to go with, the team. They've been to the championship 3 times out of the past 5 years. I do believe it was 3 times out of the past 5 years. So it's hard to root against Patrick Mahomes and the things that he's able to do, but I think I'm going to have to.
Super Bowl is going to be in Arizona, is that right? Is that where the State Farm Stadium is?
Yes.
So Patrick Mahomes' hands won't be cold and he will be able to hold on to the ball this time.
I mean, his hands won't be cold, but whether or not he can hold on to the ball or not, that's a different story.
Uh, well,
Oh,
I think
Switch,
I've made my
you're
decision.
making me the odd man out?
Yeah, I'm gonna make you the odd man.
Oh man, why do y'all keep
always
doing this
happens.
to me?
It always happens.
Y'all really gotta keep making me the odd man out. Oh, watch my team win. Watch Philadelphia win, and I'm rubbing in all y'all faces that y'all didn't want to go.
Said I
with
wouldn't be
You know what?
surprised.
You know
Hey,
what? Yeah,
but still,
it
but you
wouldn't
didn't pick
surprise
him
me.
though.
No, I'm not
To-
because I'm
to
against
me-
him right now.
To me, this whole Super Bowl kind of like is on Patrick right now. It depends how he plays. Depends the outcome of the game. Like by the first quarter, I can probably tell you who's gonna win.
No, because I'm not
No,
gonna put it
no.
all on Patrick Mahomes, and when it comes to football, you definitely cannot tell by the first quarter who's gonna win.
Yeah, no.
There's too many
There's
things
no
that can
way.
happen
I'll
in
bet
football.
all of Switch's Lunchables. I'll bet all of Switch's Lunchables.
They've
Why are you
already
betting-
been spent.
He done used up all his
It's-
lunchables.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
can't afford any more refs for the Super Bowl.
Mom, just to get a team there into the. It's like the rest is up to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, Switch said I can get y'all to the Super Bowl, but y'all got to do the rest.
Yeah.
Did you use Lunchables on both games, Switch?
No, just the one.
Okay, just the one. That's so. All right.
That's why all the
Switch, how much-
flags are being
How
thrown.
much Lunchables is that?
That's a lot of Lunchables.
Undisclosed amount.
So like, was that like 16 cards or like?
It's
He
classified.
just said it's an undisclosed amount. Stop
Maybe
prying.
That,
like,
it's
a
way
higher
more
or
than just
lower?
one store's worth. I mean, what do you think? 16 carts? It's got way more.
Yeah,
I
you know how many
cannot confirm
people.
or
You have to
deny
hit
how
multiple
cheap or
stores.
expensive the
There's
refs
some
are.
big cards out there.
You know how many people? Because it wasn't just the refs that he had to do this to. I mean, he had to get like the whole officiating crew and everything in on this. So that was a lot of Lunchables, man.
He even tried to get the quarterback for the other team to.
Yeah, I don't
He was
think
like-
I don't think he was going for that. I think he
Also,
can
just
afford
a
his
band
own
for my
Lunchables.
Lunchable if you let me win.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's able to afford his own Lunchables.
And he's like, nope, I asked me turkey.
Yeah, he only got
Take
the
a little,
pizza ones.
So he's like, I want the dino nuggets.
Yeah. Oh, this one ain't
Do I
got one
feel
of the Butterfingers in it. I don't want that.
This one's got a Kit Kat. I don't want it. I want the Butterfinger one.
Yeah. But no, as
I
far
feel
as
like
the
I'm in
Super Bowl
elementary right now.
goes, I think it's gonna be a good game, and I can't wait to watch it. And go Philadelphia! Woo woo! I can't believe y'all did that to me again.
Yeah. For the Super Bowl, too.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl of all things, we couldn't have split this 50-50. Beaker, I've kind of figured that you was gonna go with Philadelphia.
You know what? Since I feel bad,
I
I'll go.
want to. You don't understand how bad I want to. But look, there's people that just keep talking about them just being so good. All right.
And well,
And they
I
just-
can't argue with them because look at what
Look,
they've done. They are
I
good.
want an underdog, or not even an under. That's not even an underdog team, but y'all putting Mahomes like he ain't Mahomes, and and like he ain't got a good defensive team. Now,
No,
the
I know. See, I
last
never
couple games-
said that they didn't have a good defensive team. I just said that I believe
They weren't the
Philadelphia's
best.
defense is better,
Look, they got big boys, okay?
and they got a lot of them too.
They got big boys.
The amount of people that they could rotate in that are all starting quality defensive players.
Yeah, I mean, we noticed it in the first couple plays that they couldn't even get past to sack the fucking quarterback. So I mean, how is this gonna portray in the Super Bowl? Like, are they gonna be able to sack quarterback or not? Are they gonna be able to get to the throw before?
I think we're
complete-
gonna see a lot of Hassan Reddick in Patrick Mahomes' face. I really, really do.
Because I mean, they would turn around and they're right there.
I think it's gonna be a lot of Hassan Reddick right up in there.
I hate to say it, but Chiefs they just allowed multiple plays where they, were able to run up on Mahomes.
And I don't think if Mahomes' ankle's not good come Super Bowl, man, with how fast the defensive line is of Philadelphia, if they get in the backfield, he's going down.
Yeah.
Unless he could get somebody open right before they're able to get to him.
It's all going
I
to be a
don't.
lot of throwing out of bounds play kind of thing, or just kind of getting rid of the balls.
Yeah, it's their defensive line. They're really good and really fast into that
And
backfield.
and I do want. That's why I said I do want to go for. It's not the underdog, but just because I know how aggressive the Eagles. If they can withstand the Eagles' defensive, then they'll be good.
Man, I don't know.
It's just the Eagles have a strong defense and offense.
Yeah, and Kansas City's got a strong offense and they got a pretty good defense, but I don't know. It's gonna be. We're just gonna have to see when that
It's gonna
final
be win or
whistle
no game.
blows. As long as
I
they
think it's
don't
going
do,
to be a very close game.
it's either gonna be a close game or it's gonna be an absolute blowout. I don't think it's gonna
Blowout.
be a touchdown field goal kind of game. I think it's either gonna come down to the last second who gets the last possession and can score, or it's gonna come down to one team's gonna blow the other one out. I think that's what it's going to come down to, and it's on. And another thing is, it's also got to watch Jalen Hurts too. This is his first Super Bowl.
That's
Patrick
what I'm
Mahomes
saying.
has
Like,
been here before, so I mean that is another thing that you got to keep in mind. Jalen Hurts, this is his first time playing in a Super Bowl, but then again, at the same time, throughout everything that he's done so far, he's looked cool, calm, and collective. But once you get into that atmosphere, there's no telling what'll happen with him. But also at the same time, we can take a step back to look into the first week with what Trevor Lawrence did, throwing 4 interceptions in the first half and then coming back to winning the game after being down 27-0. So
my boy
it's
Trevor Lawrence, though. That's my boy Trevor Lawrence.
so
I mean,
it's
I guess Jalen Hurts, but that's my boy Trevor Lawrence. All right.
yeah. So it's there's no when it comes to football, there's just no telling
Anything,
what can happen.
anything within the rig guidelines is we're good. I'm playing.
Yeah, anything that's like scripted, as long as they get to that final score, I guess they don't care what happens in between. Um, let's okay. All right, enough with the scripted stuff. We don't need to add, like I said, we don't need to add more fuel to the fire. But yeah, as God, it's so hard to choose because even now I'm still running through my head like, do I want to change my answer? Do I want to
Same
pick
here.
Kansas City over Philadelphia? But I mean, I keep coming back to the whole defensive thing and Philadelphia.
I feel if it's scripted, then Philadelphia will win.
No, I think if it's scripted, it'll be Patrick Mahomes that wins. They're trying
But
to.
if,
What I think it would it because if it is scripted, it's because they're trying to create a new
They would build
dynasty.
an image. Yeah, they would create an image for that.
Yeah, they're trying to recreate what they had with New England and Tom Brady. But to transition over into that, speaking of Tom Brady, he as of yesterday announced his retirement.
again,
For what,
Again.
the third time?
No, it's only the second time, but I think he's actually done with it this time.
What, retiring?
Wait, for
Yep.
real?
I think he's
Nah,
actually.
we'll see when. We'll see. To
Didn't he
go
say
out to
something
the
about, like, he's gonna-
Cowboys.
Oh, he ain't going to the
Didn't he say he's
Cowboys. The
making a play
Cowboys are
for,
talking about signing Dak for another 10 years.
No, but I'm saying to go
Oh.
out to the Cowboys,
Oh,
like
yeah.
to
Okay, I got what you're
retire
saying.
completely after losing to the Cowboys. That's not just play one more year, dog. Go again.
Well, so that's one thing that I've been seeing a lot. I've been seeing a lot of memes about it, and it's like Tom Brady, first loss to the Cowboys in my career. Yep, time to hang it up. But I mean, he is truly one of the best to ever play the game, and I've always gave him and a lot of his fans shit because I can. But even diehard Brady haters cannot deny the fact that he had an outstanding, record-breaking career. I was looking at it, and it was like his career stats was like 89,000 plus passing yards, 1,000 plus rushing yards, 649 passing touchdowns. and 7 Super Bowls. That is a stat line that I don't think anybody ever expected to see in the NFL, and there's maybe only a handful of people that'll ever be able to even come close to touching it. I mean, he's had an absolutely outstanding career, and the sport of football is going to miss him dearly, but at least we ain't got to see him in another Super Bowl. So, anything y'all want to add on as far as that goes?
My heart's already racing for the Super Bowl, so I'm just.
I can't hardly wait.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
ready.
you are sticking to Eagles, huh?
I'm sticking with the Eagles. I will be the odd man out, just so nobody else has to be. So anybody who's picked the Eagles and all of y'all friends that y'all thought you was buddies with and y'all had the same mindset, pick the opposite team. Don't worry, my heart breaks with y'all. No,
This whole time.
yeah, bro. We've been on the same page for the majority of this damn playoffs, and you just
Look,
gotta go and
except for
betray me like
when
that.
I first started, I was making my own calls, and then I was watching. I was like, wait, let me see, and I did good because Cincinnati did good for a little bit, and then my teams were doing good. Okay, I made the wrong choice of going against Trevor Lawrence. My bad. All right.
Yeah, but that was another hard game. That was really hard to determine who you thought was going to win.
That was the Chargers and
Chargers and
uh,
Jacksonville.
yep. So I didn't want to go against him, but at the same time, like I'm glad I did because he pulled it out. I mean, he kept it, and then I could go and root for him, and we're out.
The speaker's fault. Everybody that Bader picked in these playoffs, if they
And then
lost, it's
look at
his
what
fault.
happened with Cincinnati. Look what happened with Cincinnati. I was falling asleep while we were watching it. I kind of like woke up and I looked at it and I was like, "We're behind." Or like we caught up, and then I go to the restroom and they tie it. And then I come back and watch the game completely awake and watching it,
And they lose.
and they
It's all
lose.
Baker's fault. That's what it boils down to. It's Beaker's fault. Switch pays
Yeah,
off
I'm sorry.
refs, and Beaker's a bad luck charm.
I'm Drake. Drake for the NFL.
Oh man. I think that's about all we got as far as football goes. So we're gonna go ahead and transfer over to Fevno, and we got a little bit of information on. I do believe you did say he was a YouTuber at one point, right?
Yeah, so
I call him that.
popular Eagles fan, ep.5. Do any of y'all know who he is?
I have
Never
no
heard
idea.
of him.
I definitely do.
Oh, you have some.
Yes, you can
Anything?
go ahead though.
I
You
would.
can go ahead.
I want to hear what you have.
I
Or
mean,
what you
prior
know
to
about.
his criminal history, or the
Mhm.
fact that he's been.
Just general. In
I've seen him.
general.
I mean, of course he was a YouTuber at one point. I did see some of his videos and stuff. I
You
don't
can't lie.
know.
They were funny. Okay.
He's not my sense of my comedy sense of humor. I didn't watch him too often. I did just come across, like I said, I just come across his videos or whatever, or I would see him, but I would never be like, hey, let me look him up and this is what I want to watch. I didn't know who he was until the whole incident happened. You know, um, but other than that, like, I mean, I saw him, I knew his name, knew of him, and then when the incident came out, it was like, okay, now it's all over the place, and I'm seeing more and more of him. But yeah, I wasn't too big on him. I don't know a lot. I know of him. I know he did, content and other things. So
So, um, what he does is he do little short videos on TikTok, and I believe he was on Vine first, but I may be wrong.
he was
So what
at
he
the
do
end
is
of the Vine era.
he did small videos for YouTube, and it'd be like him either talking about the Eagles or him joking about using the bathroom or like jacking off. So I wasn't think it was 2001, maybe? No, not 2001. I know for a fact 2021 he was caught by a vigilante, or that's what people are quoting him as. The vigilante. He kind of dressed up and made an account as a 13-year-old girl named Sophia. That was a decoy account. Dang, I cannot speak today. So with that, the vigilante um kept on, as they say, slide into his DMs. With that, EDP took the bait, and firstly, he only started going after EDP after some messages between him and I think he was a other 13-year-old girl were exchanging messages. And I think that was the April 16th, 2020 15 incident, 16. Um, but with that, he has gotten a lot of hate. He deleted all of his videos. Once he had a TikTok. I don't know what happened to that. I can't find that anywhere. Um, he does have a new TikTok, a new Facebook, a new YouTube, and everything. And he
On all of it or what?
huh?
Do you follow him on any of it or?
No, I'm not really
I was gonna say
a
I was gonna
ep445
yeah
fan.
like, I was gonna say what kind of like is he posting like the same content or
He's
like
trying to, but once you
okay
do something like that
yeah
on the internet, it's kind of hard to get away from.
yeah
So
yeah
he,
I mean unless you're like the Paul brothers I mean but yeah
Well, they get
yeah,
away with
so
everything.
yeah
That's true.
ain't that the truth? So what he's trying to say is that it was all fake, and they were just kind of like staging him, to get free clout. And he's talking about how it's messed up to mess with a person just to make money. Uh, and some people, thought that was just the normal YouTube apology video that everyone does when they do something bad, which I also believe is just a normal YouTube apology video. But he says that he did it because he went to go get a cupcake. He went to meet the girl, the 13-year-old decoy girl, um, and he staged it as going to get a cupcake, which I believe is funny. But maybe he's he's had too much cupcakes or too much of anything. He's has stage 5 kidney failure. He went live on his Instagram debunking the death rumors because a lot of people believe that he died and they were causing that he was in hiding or he died or from a suicide. But he went on live and said that it was he had kidney failure and they don't really know how long he's gonna be alive for. I don't like hating on people, um, and I'm very neutral in these type of circumstances. Do I believe that you should be flirting with, even if it is a fake minor? I do not believe that was not okay. Um,
So let me
but
ask you this: was he ever like arrested or anything like that? As
no,
far as
no,
that
no.
goes.
So basically, he was who saved him was pretty much Marvel. Not really, but when a vigilante goes under work and like works under something and then provides that, like if they go to the suspect first before going to the cops cannot do anything. Um, so they weren't able to arrest him or do anything like any punishment because the vigilante went and did that with him and his friends. So if the vigilante actually was willing to do peace, I do believe he'd go into the cops instead of making a video. But a lot of YouTubers like that money. You know what I mean? Who doesn't like money? Makes the world go around.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean, I don't know. It's
it
just.
is.
to me it's just I mean I don't know it's a made up thing it's a made up thing that was created for no reason but you
Money?
know yeah we didn't know
Yeah.
like we used to trade goods or trade you know trades. I mean, like you would literally, trade an electrical job for maybe some food, or you know, some roofing job for a carpentry job. I
Hmm.
mean, it wasn't always about the money, but then money became everything, and now that's what we trade is a currency. I mean, the world created currencies, and now we created a system around the currency to wake up every day, go to work, do what we're supposed to, pay taxes on everything for the government to tax every other thing that you pay for on the taxes that are already taken out on the check that you worked for. So it's like
Hmm.
it's just another thing for the government kind of thing.
They say
And
it's a free country, but I feel like we strive away
every day.
Yep,
from.
I totally agree. Each and every day we get further and further away from this country being free.
And I
Uh,
think that's why they think that, not to bring up a different topic, but like the doomsday clock that they were talking about move forward. That's just like a
Yes.
thing where we're closer to humanity destruction over, you know, balance. We can't seem to it's the amount of greed that's in the world.
well, if you think
Every,
about it, if you look at most of the things that are going on in the world these days, is that's what it really boils down to. Is one person wants what the other person has,
yeah,
and nobody wants to give it up, so I'm gonna take it. So it's just that's what it all comes down to, and that's the reason why everything's so messed up in the way that it is nowadays. And money's one of those biggest things.
yeah, and so no, not everybody likes money.
I mean, don't get me
Mm.
wrong. I mean, I like money because I like to
You
be
don't
able
like
to
money. You like what you can do with it.
exactly. I like
That's it.
what money brings into my
You,
life, but I'm not gonna overreach into something else. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense.
Mhm.
yeah,
But to get back to the EDP 445 topic, YouTubers do lie a lot in their videos. Um, and some like to humiliate others, like going out on Twitter and saying it's EDP 445 dead, or I can't wait for that scumbag to die. But celebrating EDP 445's death when he's not even dead yet, I believe is wild. That is a human being that has, you know, messed up stuff, but I don't believe that you should celebrate someone's death over them just talking to a decoy girl.
you didn't know.
Yeah, because I mean, and there's
Yeah.
no.
In his
I
head, he
mean,
didn't know it was a decoy.
aside from
Mhm.
them saying that there's text messages and stuff like that, was there any other proof that that was even a thing? Like, was there any other
Did he meet
proof?
up with her,
Yeah,
or meet up, or try to meet up? I guess.
yeah. 'Cause, I mean, anybody can
Um,
make an account and text somebody else off of it, or anybody
yeah,
can fake
so
messages.
yeah, the vigilante said that he was texting EDP for about, I believe it was 2 years. So he
Bro,
started in 2018 or 2017.
bro,
Um,
bro started a relationship with him. Dude, why would you fuck
yeah,
Are you sure it was a
2 years,
vigilante and not a stalker?
bro?
Yeah,
never
because
know.
a lot of that stuff that
Some
don't make
sometimes
sense.
there's not a difference.
I mean, regardless, with the intent to message, you know, any minor or any child, especially at that age, like it's just, it's a no go. But if you know, I don't even know because
Mhm.
I have no sense and way of defending any kind of thing like that because I know anybody in their right mind wouldn't tolerate it, and it's just like you never want to hear about messages turned into meeting up, turned into a missing child,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
and
that's one of the
and
biggest things.
and I'm not taking up for him because I don't know what it is that he does or what it is that he doesn't do. But in this generation, in this world, and everything, with all this clout chasing and doing whatever you can to kind of get views and stuff like that, I take everything with a grain of salt. If he wasn't arrested or charged with anything or nothing like that, I'm not gonna go out and say that he's guilty of anything because I don't know.
Mhm.
Like I said, anybody could fake messages. Anybody could figure out where somebody goes and confront them. So it's, I don't know. I don't want to speak too much onto that because
There's a
you
website
never
for that.
know. There probably is a couple websites for that, and you know every one of them. Switch. You're the website guy. But
um,
one day somebody's gonna get that inside joke aside from us. But no, it's just there's too much as far as the way of speculation goes that it's too hard to for me as an individual to make that judgment on somebody else.
I also should add that EDP wasn't the one who wanted to meet up. It was a decoy girl. Now, the vigilante definitely did want to catch him with a video. You can see that, like, that was his whole plan. He was setting it up and everything.
That sounds
But
like
the point with
entrapment.
EDP thought that I was a fan. And he was just responding with love, he says. Like, MC, like, as a content creator, your fans, they're your family, you love them with your heart. But I don't think I'd ever meet up with anyone. Would you?
I mean, I can't
Especially if
say
they're
whether I
minors.
would or wouldn't. I mean, it's not. I would make plans to meet up with them, but I mean, if you run out
Yeah.
into somebody in public
Yeah,
or
Oh,
yeah,
something like that, yeah, you
yeah.
don't
yeah,
deny them.
Yeah,
I'm an
yeah.
introvert. I'm not meeting anybody.
yeah,
Well,
but
that's just because you don't
No,
like
he
I mean,
anybody except for us.
EDP
So
went out
Right.
out of his way to meet the girl, quote unquote. Um,
yeah, and that's just different.
even if it was a fan, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard.
To go out and meet a singular fan,
hmm I just
it's just
I don't
weird.
believe it.
Like if you're out and about and they meet, or meet and greet, or you know, do
Like those those
an event
scenes
where
are
they get
entirely
to spend a
different.
day with you. That's different, you know.
Mhm.
But
No, if I were to meet up with a fan, I don't think I'd just be with a fan. Like I'd make a meet and greet in the area. I wouldn't just go meet them
that's what I'm saying. Like
behind stores in a little parking lot where no one can
oh,
see.
yeah.
you just
Okay,
made
well,
it a
yeah,
whole lot weirder. I mean,
yeah,
even if he was meeting her, he was meeting her at a damn
yeah.
pastry shop.
Yeah,
Um,
that's yeah. So he did say that he was just there to get a cupcake. Um, it's is that the only thing you could think of?
well,
um,
I mean, if you're at a pastry shop, you're not going to say that you're there to order a steak. I mean,
Or a pizza.
yeah, or a pizza. You're there to get
yeah,
a
but
cupcake.
you know how like multiple shops are combined, right?
Well, I don't know
So there
what's
was
around
multiple
them
shops.
people.
No, no, like I'm talking about in general, like how like buildings with multiple
Yeah, it's
They're
Shopping
called
businesses.
malls.
malls.
So he was behind those type of buildings, and there was a cupcake shop near it or a pastry shop near it, and I guess that's just the one thing he thought of,
see.
and I
Okay,
just
so
didn't get
now we're
it.
getting a little bit more information out of this because you didn't say
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
was behind the place.
Well, my fault.
It's all good. It's all good.
And
So he was
and
behind
so
the
yes,
pastry
but
shop or
there
whatever.
there is a clear way from the highway. There's a little street that connects to a highway that anyone driving down can clearly see into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, like I could say if I was 2 blocks away, I could easily see. You know, it's pretty open. I'd say like 4 cars could meet in those little ways away. Um, it's not like it was like a secluded area, like in an alleyway where it was dark and she couldn't run away. Um, I'm pretty sure anyone could run away from EDP.
Well,
But
we're not breaking those kind of allegations into this. I mean, like I said, that just first off, it was somebody playing as though they was a 13-year-old girl and
Mhm,
stuff like that. There's too many. I don't want to bring any kind of speculations into anything, especially if he wasn't charged with anything. So
mhm. And earlier I did say that there was another no, 13-year-old girl who he was texting and it was fake. It was all fake. Um, it got truth tested, I guess, and it came out as completely fake. It was photoshopped, and EDP went on cussing at the dude, insulting him and threatening him, and then he said he was gonna sue him or something. I believe around that.
So somebody had already faked that he was talking to a 13-year-old.
Yes, but
And then
it,
just
it
so
wasn't
happens
truth
that there's a
tested until after he was already deleted all his channels and stuff.
okay. So but just to take a step back, it was truth tested, or somebody had already accused him of talking to a 13-year-old prior to
The
before the
vigilante
guy
incident.
before the vigilante incident. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is kind of adds more to what I said a minute ago. Everything can be faked.
Yes.
So
Then
unless
it's
there is like 100% evident proof, then this just no. I don't believe that. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't believe it. I'm not saying that it's not possible that it happened. I'm not saying that that's not exactly what happened. But I mean, I'm as a person myself, I cannot, just judge somebody based off of not having my own evidence.
Mhm. And I don't believe that he should get those death threats. I don't believe that you should give any death threats to anyone, no matter what the circumstances.
Yeah.
Even if they are, a pedophile celebrating their death, I don't believe it's okay. I don't think you should celebrate anyone's death.
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because I mean, some cultures consider death a celebration of life.
Well, that's a different type of death.
Yeah, that's well, I mean, all death is the same. Lights out. Does anybody else got anything else to add to this?
No,
I'm
I'm good.
finished. I don't know about switching Baker.
No, I'm good.
Well, you good, Beaker?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't like this subject. Is just something I don't like talking on, and whatnot for many reasons. But yeah, I don't see any
Well,
logical reason to do what he did. You know.
mhm.
Yeah,
So.
it is what it is. Like I said, without proof, I can't say anything on it because I'm not the type of person to judge somebody based off of not knowing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's get into a lighter note. Let's get out of this whole whatever that was. Video games. I can't say everybody loves, but quite majority of people nowadays are video game enthusiasts.
I wouldn't see why anybody wouldn't like video games.
I mean, I
You
wouldn't
know?
either, but there are
That's
definitely people out there that
all.
do not like video games. Like, absolutely despise them.
What do you think that percentage is? Like
I don't know,
50-50.
probably higher than what you would think.
50-50.
I'd give it like a 15%.
Really? That big of a percentage in the world of people that don't
Well,
like.
there's a lot of moms in the world.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
fixing to say it's probably a lot bigger of a percent than what you would think.
But I'm saying like somebody that wouldn't just like that didn't grow up in an arcade, didn't go and they enjoyed games, but not like they're an adult now and because they have kids and those kids don't listen because they're too busy playing games, so they don't like the games because you know just I don't know. It's just weird.
I think it really kind of comes down to even older generation,
I
like
just don't
Switch's
think it's.
generation.
But my generation loves games.
That was an
We
old
love
joke,
playing
Switch. Don't
games.
worry.
I know.
I don't know what you're talking about, Travis. We love games.
Oh man, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Games have probably saved my life more times than I can count, and it's not just games because as much as I do love video games. It's not the games itself that I love. It's being able to get on the game and play with you three or whatever other friends that we have that are on. That's the part of video games that I like the most.
The community.
Yeah, the community behind it. Even a game that's not multiplayer, just the community behind it. And I mean, we got a couple of them on this list. I don't know. I don't know if all of them are going to be multiplayer. I do know there's a couple of them on here that aren't going to be multiplayer. Especially going on to the first one, which is actually the most recent one that's going to be coming out. Here in 8 days. Switch, I know you're excited for this one and ready for this one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it's going to be Hogwarts Legacies. Now, there's a few different release dates on this one. So, February 10th, like I said, 8 days is going to be releasing for the PS5, the Xbox Series X and S, and for PC. But as far as like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, it is going to be released for those on April 4th. And then for the Switch, it's going to be released on July 25th. Hogwarts Legacies, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have actually heard of this one already. It's going to be a lot of kind of open world-ish, basically it's Harry Potter. I mean, who doesn't know what Harry Potter is?
Right.
And we did talk about it, and I believe it was.
Yeah, and we have already covered it in a previous podcast. So I'm not going to talk too much on that one. But the next one, and I'm kind of curious to see exactly how this one's going to turn out. It's called Wild Hearts, which is EA's version of Monster Hunter.
Well, that sounds interesting. Might I expand on Hogwarts right quick?
Yes.
Before you get too far. So there is a free cosmetics that you can get with when you go to your wizardingworld.com account and link your WB account to your platform account. You'll get the skull mask and a special with a robe thing. I forgot what it's called.
Cloak.
And a cloak. I think so. Yeah, and a wand. You get a wand, skull mask, and a cloak for whatever house you join.
Well, that sounds like it'd be pretty cool. And I can't wait for it to come out because I'm kind of ready to try it myself.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play.
Yeah. So back to the Wild Hearts, man. Like I said, it's supposed to be EA's version of Monster Hunter. It's going to be a semi-open world game. They had actually partnered with Japanese developing studios in order to come out with it. So it is going to be released for the PS5, the Xbox Series X and S, and PC on February 17th. Omega Force. I think it's Omega Force is the studios that they partnered with.
Alright.
But it'll be released February 17th on all of the newer platforms. Like I said, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. I don't know if they plan on coming out with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version. All they said so far was those. So the next one is actually one. It's actually really another one that I'm kind of curious to take a look at. It's Company of Heroes 3, which is actually going to be a war-based game centered around the time during World War II. It's actually going to be based in two separate locations of North Africa and Italy, which this is going to be the predecessor carried on from the last one. And that one is actually going to come out February 23rd for all of the major platforms as well. The next one the next one's one that we've also talked about previously on the thing, but I just wanted to give a little bit of an update because I don't know if we had quite brought this fact up, but is the Kerbal Space Programs 2. The early access coming out February 24th for PC, but PC only.
Yeah.
The PlayStation, Xbox, they didn't give a date on when it's going to be released. Only the fact that it's going to be released, I would assume later on in the year. So, I got a couple more that I want to mention, and the next one is called Crime Boss, Rock A City. Okay, so this game was announced back in last year at the Gaming Awards, but has not gotten into production until later on. So it was actually supposed to be released last year, but is actually going to be released March 28th of this year. And this one kind of really sounds interesting because it's an action first person shooter. But the names of the people that are starring in here, y'all stop me whenever y'all know a couple of them. Michael Madison, Danny Glover, Danny Trejo, Vanilla Ice, and Chuck Norris. So each one of these gentlemen that I just listed is all going to be characters in the game or voicing characters in the game.
Was
So
that Michael Madsen or Madison?
Madison,
Okay, yeah.
Madison.
Okay.
say trio,
Trejo.
trio, the Mexican guy.
There's another Danny. Yeah, the original Machete.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Chuck Norris.
There's a J in there.
Yeah,
I know
that's what I
all
said.
those names
Trejo.
except for Michael.
Trejo.
Trejo. I'm white. Get out of here.
You see the J-A, the ha 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 ha.
It's not J.A. It's
But that's what I'm
J.O.
saying. But the J.
It's Joe.
Trejo.
What is going on?
I don't know. Vanilla Ice. He's white. I know that one. Get out of here. And Chuck Norris, of course, I know that one too. Especially as somebody who grew up watching Walker Texas Ranger all his life and loved that show. But no, this game is actually supposed to be set in like a fictional 90s Florida where you can compete. It could be up to you and 3 of your friends. So this one is definitely for sure multiplayer where you compete for turf through like heists and stuff like that. So like I said, this one's going to be released March 28th on PCs, and consoles will be released on a later date. Like I said, as of right now, they haven't given those dates out yet. But man, just off of the people that's going to be in the game itself, kind of makes me want to play it. But speaking of people that, you know, everybody knows and loves and it's going to be starting a video game, Arc 2 has expanded its story with the lead being Vin Diesel. They're going to have like improvements of like mobility and you know, stuff like that with where you're going to be able to climb and swing and slide and stuff like that, and of course, you know, ride dinosaurs.
He gets to play Santiago. Yeah.
Wacha-cha. And then, of course, now this is a game that I have not personally played in a long time since the first one came out, but we are getting a Payday 3.
That's the one we need to play.
Okay, so it actually entered production in 2017. So 6 years ago, this game entered production. It brings back the cops versus robbers, of course, and it's you know, they described it as the living representation of living in New York City, and I mean I don't know what they mean by that, but it is due to come out 10 years after its predecessor. So 10 years after the last one was released, and it's actually going to follow that timeline as, you know, a 10-year later, you know, period. So I think that one's going to be interesting.
How about Payday then, huh?
I might have to. I've always, you know, seen things about Payday and stuff like that. I've just never actually played it myself. So I mean,
I did. I played a little bit. I didn't play much, but I played like, because when I downloaded it, I thought it was like I could play with me and my brother, and it wasn't like that. It's only online multiplayer. So I was like, oh, okay. So I started playing it a little when I was by myself, and I was like, man, I need other people with this.
Yeah. So who knows? We might have
I
to.
hated the cloaker.
We might have to get into that now. They do not have an official release date. They do just say it's going to be in 2023, and there's no official consoles either. So I guess they're still trying to kind of figure all that stuff out. But they do say in 2023 it will be released for PC. So as far as everything else goes, I mean, I guess they're still trying to figure out the details of that. But for a game that's been, in production for the past 6 years, I'm really hoping that it's going to be good. Um, Beaker, you got a video game that you'd like to get into depth with, don't you?
Yeah, I got the Crew Motorfest. Let me get my mouse here. Oh, sorry, it was charging. Uh, and yeah, so Ubisoft actually announced that they'll be releasing the Crew Motorfest. It is a follow up on a franchise of the Crew, where you're in an open world. You know, you have all access to all sorts of vehicles, off road, on road, planes. You know, motorcycles, boats. You get to just explore. You know, at least in the Crew 2, it took place in the U.S. As for Motorfest, it actually takes place in Hawaii. And yeah, so with that, I'm figuring it's going to be a smaller map. I'm pretty sure it's going to. There's no talk of the planes and the boats being in there, but with it being a series of islands, I'm pretty sure they're going to put it in there. I mean, they would have to.
So it
Um,
is going to be like all of the islands of Hawaii, right? Not just one
it's a
specific
it's
one.
Uh, it's a big part of it's a big part of one, and then they have smaller islands that chain to it as part of it.
Okay.
So, um, I don't know if they'll put those islands accessible or if they're just gonna be on the map for, you know. Now, this like this crew is called the Motorfest instead of Crew 3, because I'm pretty sure it's just like a little test for this, and they don't want to call it the Crew 3 and it be, terrible or a bad thing. So I'm guessing there's going to be a few and a good amount of changes. Um, but yeah, I mean, the first 1 and 2 took place in the U.S. and you were able to travel any state, anywhere, however you wanted with whatever vehicle. I myself actually play this game a lot. You know, it's one of the games that I can play with my friends or by myself. I can just cruise around. Scenery is just really, really nice. And I mean, I expect a good amount. I mean, based off the trailer that was just recently released, it was one of nice. I mean, the graphics on it look really amazing, and I'm just really hoping it keeps up. I mean, they went from almost. I mean, they actually the crew, the details in the Crew 1 and the graphics in it were way better than what they did in 2. And the cars sounded better and felt more realistic in 2, but the scenery was nicer in 1. They actually took away locations in 2, and so in my opinion, I think 1 was a better game as far as if you were to just drive around and want to cruise around and see sightings. But if you wanted to race and that's all you cared to do, then the Crew 2 is it. Now I'm hoping this gives a great balance of both. Um, so far, I mean, like I said, there's only talk of vehicles on land. Nothing so far of off land and flying. Now they do have off-road vehicles. I'm sure they're gonna have dirt bikes and uh, other motorcycles and stuff. Obviously, Lamborghinis and all the fancies will be in there, but they also have classics. American muscles. Everything will range. They announced they'll have hundreds of cars in there. I'm sure some from previous games and some that will be added. Um, but I'm sure you know uh, the game will run pretty well based off that trailer, and I'm just hoping those are actual gameplay trailer. So, but it will. I mean, pretty much it's going to be available for everything from Xbox One, the Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC.
Well, I will say
So,
this. I mean, I've played a little bit of the Crew too. Uh, Actually, I played it with you.
yeah,
Whenever I was still on my Xbox, and it was fun. I mean, I only had it on Game Pass, so it didn't stay on there for long. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to continue to play it.
yeah.
and I
which
never
I
did get back
didn't even
around.
know. I had bought it for like $8 or whatever,
Yeah,
and I didn't know that it was on Game Pass. So I was just playing it. Yeah, and I was like, huh? But yeah, it was fun. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, when this one comes out, I might go ahead and get that one just so I can play with this, sexy gentleman right here.
As far as gameplay, how is it compared to like something like Forza?
so when I got on the crew, uh, like as somebody that's played everything from Forza Horizon 3 and up, in which in 3 I was really big in 3, and the people that I ran with were really big. So like I had every car, I had all the money I wanted or needed. If I ever needed money, they would just trade money amongst each other. Uh, I mean, I didn't sell tunes. When it came to tuning cars, that's one thing I wish the crew would do is add a tuning, you know, setting. I mean, they have a small setup, but you can't individually go in there and tune gears. Um, and I would like something like that where you just go in there, switch your own gears up, tire pressure, you know. For them, for the crew, it's like ABS traction off on, you know, all that stuff. But another feature that will be coming to the crew Motorfest that won't be in the crew, or that wasn't in the crew 1 and 2, is a possible rewind option or button. You'll be able to rewind after like crashing or
Nice.
messing up a turn and stuff, kind of like how Forza does.
I remember playing Forza and always having to rewind because I'm booty at racing games.
So now I don't mind that option at all. I wasn't one to really use the rewind because it just felt like it messed me up more than when it would if I would have just taken off from where I messed up, you know?
Yeah,
So I kind of don't know. I didn't get too into the rewind stuff only for the fact that like it just felt like I was playing myself using it, especially in racing. Like, so I just kind of would be like, nah. Now the crew too has like you can set your car back on the road and it'll place you like the last place you went off, you know,
right. Like a
which
checkpoint system.
yeah, which I think is kind of good because like when you try to cheat in racing and you go off a path, uh, it won't like until you get back on the track, it won't. It'll reset you to your last place on the track, and so it kind of keeps people from cheating unless they can manage without messing up.
Right.
So I think that's a good thing. But as far as like a rewind, I was never into it. I don't know how this one will play out on here, but in the trailer that they released, you can see like the developer working on the game, and you can see in the corner, the bottom left, where normally your speedometer and all that stuff is. You see a column that says, rewind, capture, uh, change camera. It tells you it has like a little HUD system,
Nice.
and I don't remember if the Crew 2 and the other ones have it, but it will have like where Forza lights up if you're using the brakes or whatever, and the ABS system comes on or whatever, like, or that little where it starts flashing your little if you have it on. But yeah, I mean,
I can guarantee you that the reverse mechanic is going to work backwards.
what do you mean?
Reverse backwards.
Oh yeah, 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 where it's just kind of like
It was a play on words. Sorry.
Yeah, I was
yeah,
fixing to say you even had me a little confused
Yeah,
there.
I don't know
I,
what was going
I was
said
like,
that.
what? I didn't know how to say anything because I was like, But yeah, you even had me
yeah,
a little confused on that one there, bud.
yeah. So I mean, and so with this game, I'm hoping a lot comes with it. Um, a big part of their like for me, a big part of playing this game was the open world and the scenery, but also the amount of like vehicles you could buy and switch. Now, one thing I do not like about the Crew 2 that I hope and wish they would change is the ability to sell your vehicles. It's annoying. Uh, you do pay for a vehicle, costs you like 1.8 mil. The most you can make in a race is like 500,000, or depending on whatever. But an average player that has no perks will probably make like 315, around 1,000 for a 30-minute race.
Wow.
So I mean, it takes forever. You sit there and do like 8 30-minute racing events, and you pay it all on one car, don't like the car, and you can't even sell it. So
You're just stuck with it.
Yeah, I think
That's
that would
kind
yeah,
of
kind of see, and the payback to buy time is just
it's not.
that's
Yeah,
insane. 30 minutes
yeah,
for a race to get maybe 300,000 on a
yeah. So
$1.8 million car. I mean,
now,
that's
now they do have what is it, like for them, it's an icon point system, and you can put like points on a perk that's called rich, and it gives you a percentage back into what you would make uh from that race. I mean, I don't even have mine maxed. I have mine at like 17.5%. Uh and that 315,000, race, I make like close to 600,000 on it because I have those perks. So I mean, I guess it convinces them to play enough to add those extra things to your racing events so that you can make the most of it. But I don't know. As someone that doesn't have any of that stuff, or didn't like doesn't even understand it, how that works. Um, it's just a pain. It really is. I mean, obviously they have affordable vehicles, but it's not something, it's not any of the vehicles you want.
right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the crew, Motorfest, it will be released this year. It's based off the graphics. I'm ready for it. If they don't put, boats and planes, fine, but I just don't see any reason why they wouldn't, you know. That's a big part of it. That makes them different from other racing games, I guess. I enjoy cruising around on a motorcycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think this is why it's called Motorfest and not 3. I mean, it's just this is all testing. If they don't put the flying around and stuff, and it still does just as well, then they're open to other things.
yeah.
So
This might be their kind of transition and the kind of fine tuning before they release 3.
yeah, so that's why I'm kind of looking forward to it. I mean, graphics look great. It kind of seems like it had the same feel from the crew too, just a different scenery. Um, I do hope we can hop islands and fly planes and whatnot. But yeah, this is going to be a test to see how the game plays out. I'm guessing that's why it's not called the Crew 3. See what works out and what doesn't.
No, I mean it'd be interesting to see it. It's something new, so I mean, because I don't think, not to my knowledge, anyways, there's been any racing games, based over in Hawaii. Not that I
There's
know
not
of.
too
I
many.
couldn't tell you.
I don't think there is. Because I mean, Forza is the one that really. I mean, I wouldn't say they hop around the most, but like they have a good like they have the UK, now they're in Mexico. Um,
I
there
believe the
was
next one's in Tokyo.
yeah. So the one that was if that one was I was gonna bring up, that was supposed to be 5. People released it like all the info about it early on, and so they released Mexico.
Oh,
Everybody had so much hype around uh it being in Japan that they were ready for it, and they just ripped it off the shelf and said, "Nope, y'all get Mexico." So when Mexico, like when 5 came out with Mexico, it was like, oh, you know.
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the map, but
Mhm.
it would have been a lot nicer to be in Tokyo. I mean, Japan.
Yeah, well, people
Yeah.
shouldn't have leaked it.
Right?
Yeah, you can't have nice things.
Yeah, of course not. Everybody's always got to get the jump on everything.
Exactly.
But speaking of the jump on everything, and then the robots are gonna take this place over. Well, I'm gonna let Switch explain.
Alright, so university researchers at Yale have developed
Oh
a
no.
transformer.
Oh no.
A shapeshifter, man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Though far from Optimus Prime, amphibious robot turtle is what they're calling it. ARC
It's a
for short.
turtle?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
A
it's a robotic
turtile.
turbo.
It's a robotic Raphael, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's even
Pretty
scarier
much.
than a normal turtle.
I wouldn't say so.
Oh, he kicks ass. What you mean?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the next star of the new Ninja Turtle movie.
Right.
Except it's gonna be called Robo Turtle.
Yeah, ARC. ARC for short, amphibious robot turtle. ARC combines the best mobility
Oh,
features from an ocean swimming turtle and a land walking tortoise. Each of the four morphing limbs are surrounded by a composite polymer material that is malleable when hot and it's stiff when it's cool. There's copper built-in heaters they use it to change the temperature, and the legs can transform from flippers to a rounded leg using soft robotic muscle, which is what they're calling it, which swells or deflates. So when it's in its swimming feature, I guess, swimming form, it'll have flat flippers, and then it takes a few minutes for it to heat up when it's on land and inflate. So they inflate it and then heat it up, and the little tips of the flippers will kind of come in and have like a little hook on them. That way it can walk a little bit better.
Yeah, it kind of
We're
makes
gonna
it a
battle
little foot.
robots.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Art has a 3D printed shell that can hold air to adjust buoyancy, kind of like a submarine. Uh, he still requires a tether to provide power and communications to and, and
no, he
movement.
doesn't.
Right. The movement is slow and awkward at this moment, but they're working on it to make improvements.
Yeah,
The
we're gonna
Art
die.
is not the first
But they
robot
don't.
to mimic real life animals, nor is it the only robot inspired by nature. Engineers and scientists have found nature as promising inspiration for design, innovation, and perfection. The process of being inspired by nature to design and solving problems is called biomimicry. Kind of rings a yeah, I lost my train of thought on that one.
Biomimicry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell, but it kind of it fits the
The narrative.
yeah, it hits the nail on the head, something along those lines. I don't know.
Yeah, hits the nail on the head. Yeah, you got it
Yeah.
right. You'll
insert
get there eventually, man.
insert fancy phrase that I can't think of right
Yeah,
now.
I got you. Don't worry, we understand. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Some
Right,
of
so
us.
Well, except for Fevno, he doesn't understand very many things. But
Okay,
Yeah.
says the one that couldn't even talk about being fucking reversed or whatever he said.
Ew.
Bio
But-
We'll end up
inspired
right there.
robots can walk, swim, slither, fly, and even crawl. I don't know if y'all know that. That we've got several different types of robots already.
yeah, they're
Okay,
all
well,
over the place.
The
Switch,
many
here's my American answer. Can we put a bomb on it?
Yeah,
many
she didn't have.
robotics are looking to biology. Roboticists, I'm sorry. Yes, probably.
I like how that was so subtle with the answer. Yeah, probably.
Depends what happens.
Can we use it as attack dogs? Well, attack turtles. Attack turtles.
Oh my god,
Right.
imagine having attacked turtles.
Attack robot turtles, man.
Give them
Right?
like on a little leash and then they start barking.
Okay, turtles don't bark.
Exactly.
Okay,
So many
continue, Switch.
roboticists are looking to biology for inspiration in robot design, particularly in the area of locomotion.
know what
so-
locomotion is, huh?
Yeah, movement, essentially.
Oh, I was asking.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Well, no. I mean, it's cool that you answered. I was actually asking the other two. I wanted to see if.
Oh, yeah, no, obviously. Don't need
Yeah,
to have
I know
ocean
what that
of the
is.
ocean.
Yeah, Fev, no, get out of here. You didn't know what that was. All
Uh-huh.
right, so you can continue. I was just gonna pick with him a little bit, but
Yeah, you get. I have a few examples of what all other kind of robots that we have designed from nature. We've got a fly-sized drone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think we can put a bomb on that one.
I mean, we probably
Nah,
could. It just wouldn't be a very big one.
we never say that. You know, don't get my
Flies in
hopes up.
somebody's eardrum.
Yeah, blows up the eardrum.
The housefly flaps its wings about 120 times per second. The carbon fiber fly, designed by robotics team at Harvard University, is so small and light that the only way to power and control it is by air thin cord tied to its body. So that one's still tethered as well. A wireless model may arrive in a few years.
It's crazy
Yeah,
the advancement that you know we're making in robotic technology and stuff like that.
right?
Yeah. Protect Will Smith at all costs.
Look, we ain't going back to iRobot.
Yeah, you're right.
If we gotta,
System that.
if he starts smacking people across the face with iRobot strength, we're screwed. Chris Rock would still be picking his jaw up off the ground. But no, it's crazy the amount of strides that we're making in robotic technology and stuff like that, and the amount of things that they're able to do it. And yes, we may be quite a few years off of it being perfected, but I mean,
What is considered perfected?
well, I consider perfected meaning the end of humankind, but
No tethers.
yeah, no tethers. But I
Until
mean,
it's
if you
not.
think about it, I mean, for years it's perfect until it's not perfect anymore. But I mean, for years now they've had robots working, on like assembly lines and stuff like that, and
Right.
that's just one arm machines now to this turtle that can switch from walking on land like a tortoise to being in the water like a regular sea turtle. It's I don't know, just sometimes I think they need to take a step back and slow down.
I especially agree with that on this second example of 3D printed spiders.
Oh my
Who
god.
wants? Why do we need more spiders? You got to go 3D printing them.
Especially robotic spiders. You can't smash those. It does you no good.
I
It's
mean,
a
you could,
robot.
but it might hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna hurt the spider.
At least these will only have 4 legs.
That makes it even worse because then that just
Oh
makes them
no,
look weird.
they only use 4 legs to creep around with, using the other 4 free to climb. So I lied. I'm sorry.
Oh, they still got 8 legs then. They
Yeah.
can only use them. They can only use
So
half for
wait,
each
so they
thing.
have
Now.
4 and 4.
4 legs and 4 arms.
Right. Yeah. Might as well just add a scorpion tail on it.
Yeah, like that wouldn't be scary. A
Yeah.
spider scorpion coming at you. Yeah, an 8-legged scorpion that can climb. Well, I mean, regular scorpions can climb too, but it ain't got 8 legs.
It's amphibious too, like it could just swim in water.
Yeah, might as well turn it into a turtle. Put it on the back of the turtle.
It's got a shell. It's got a shell on its back.
What else
It
you
can
want to make it? We might as well make it part dragon. We'll make it breathe fire. I mean, yeah,
It's got wings.
no. Yeah, okay, look, now we're really getting too far, okay? We can't make the thing fly. Look, we...
Think you're safe in water, just dives in some water.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, eventually. We all gotta get there somehow.
Well,
You've got robofish, nano hummingbirds, ants, chameleons, even jellyfish.
Just put me on Mars already.
robotic jellyfish. How would that work?
Oh, what's the point?
I mean, we do have waterproof technology, so.
Well, I'm not talking about the water part. I'm just talking about,
Uh.
jellyfish or...
Exoskeleton, pretty
Yeah.
much like.
how would you make it robotic and still make it like a jellyfish? I don't know.
It probably looks like the ones out like the Minecraft, like just kind of.
It's just straight legged. Just there's a propeller underneath its ass where it just pushes it along.
No, they look like actual jellyfish.
Oh, that's bull. I don't like that. That's freaky.
They were invented by Virginia Tech University's
Is that the one you said nanotech, right?
cryo.
Oh, okay, because it's pretty much they just put a brain inside the shell of a jellyfish.
That's what it looks like.
It's see through, right?
Kinda. I mean,
Yeah,
it looks like it lights up
yeah.
from the
It looks
inside.
like it would glow in the dark and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
it's still being
Yeah,
tweaked.
I think I know what I seen that a while back.
It's
I
still
saw it's
being.
like its brain is like all like CPU driven and shit
Uh,
with little fancy wires, right?
yeah, it's being funded by the U.S. Navy, so we can have surveillance and monitor the ocean environment.
It gets ate by fucking Loch Ness
Keyword
monsters.
surveillance.
Yeah, Nessie's gonna eat it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh man.
possibly going to be able to clean up oil spills.
See,
Oh,
now
see,
that's
then that's
a
good.
useful thing. What does the other
Exactly.
ones do? What does the spider do? Nothing.
Other than creep people out.
Slimy.
I'm glad I don't have arachnophobia, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I do.
I feel bad for
I
I feel
don't.
bad for you because
Like the other night, I woke up, spider on my face, and I was like, I didn't realize it was a spider until like I smacked it off my face and it was on my bed. I don't even think I smacked it off. I think it just jumped. It was one of them jumping kind.
Oh
Um,
no, I would have.
yeah, yeah. So like, and I had my phone lit up because I fell asleep with it like on and open, and it was just lighting up my room. And so I kind of just see it crawling on my bed, and I like kind of turn on my flashlight and look at it, and I was like, oh shit. So I go like this to like smack it, and it had to have jumped because I picked up my hand and it was nowhere. It was nowhere to be found. So I was like, all right, that's it. I'm staying awake. You
Bomb
know.
your house. Move
Yeah,
houses. Move countries.
I stayed awake and I was like, you know what? I smoked and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to bed. So I took everything off my bed, like the clothes that I didn't put, on the hangers and do laundry, the usual. But I took the clothes off my bed, put them on my recliner, and I took the blankets off. I shook them all out. I looked at my bed, make sure it was all good.
Switch said he'd
And
have burned the whole house down.
Oh
yeah, and
yeah.
I
Yeah.
crawled back into bed and fell asleep.
Kill it with fire before it lays eggs.
Yeah, well, I mean, I live out in acres of land that has nothing but spiders and scorpions, lizards, and like I have a roadrunner that stays in like lays its eggs in my front patio, like, and he just stays around like between me and the other houses.
He lays eggs.
Well, see, I call him I say he because I call him dude all the time too. Like even though it's a female, I call her dude. I'd be like, all right, what's up, dude? Yeah, she see, it's like because I always say dude, but yeah, she did lay eggs. So, but there is a male one. He's just never around, and he's bigger. Um, I don't think he likes my dog. I don't know. My
Probably
dog's just trying to
reminds
play
him
with
of
him.
Wile E. Coyote.
He's just...
He says that little fucker's always trying to get me. I don't want to be nowhere around him.
He's just trying to play. Imagine like that's how we
See,
see it. Like
that's just it, bro. Like that's what it is. That's how they keep getting the cartoons. It's your dog and the spider.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
so, but yeah, I don't know. I've been waking up to more scorpion stings than I have spider bites. So
Well, I ain't never woke up to either one of them because I'm a heavy sleeper. So
Well,
yeah, no.
hopefully with these
When you roll over,
hopefully with the robotic spiders, we can combat that. You get our spiders to fight the real spider.
yeah, until they
they'll
team
take
up.
over. Yeah.
Right?
Then we're gonna have robotic spiders and regular spiders coming against us.
Wait,
We're gonna have a
so-
robotic spider running with a bunch of little, regular spiders on its back.
So with the spider, could you give like a disease and then tell it to go bite someone and like
It's
give
a
them?
robot. It's not gonna bite anybody.
I
I
mean,
mean, if you could
In a
program it though.
sense, so you can.
No,
you
you
could
could just
probably
put a
put
little needle
things
on
on
it.
it, right? Yeah.
Ain't no need to bite them. That's too much extra time. You just run
Yeah,
up, stick them, and run away.
pinch the skin, push it in.
But why not use one of the flyers
Because they're tethered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could just like catch them out in public and walk past them in the store.
out of the restaurant?
Yeah. Look, there's nanobot technology. They'll just put that out in the air. I mean, I'm just saying.
They've even got soft robotics, is what it's called. You know those little fish that change, like will flip up if you put them in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
That's a form of soft robotics, but with temperature change and stuff like that. They've even got it to where I want to say it's a strider that they've got that they can push along the water using lasers.
We're gonna die.
This just look. This just takes the little electric motorboats to a whole new level.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, little remote control motorboats. How many of y'all had one of those whenever y'all was a kid? I had
I
one.
only had one.
Yeah, me
I
too.
had
Only
one that
one.
had the string. You can only go so far with it. I
Yeah.
was like, man, you gotta go like 5 feet with it or something, 6 feet
Yeah,
with it. And I'm
and
like,
then once the cable breaks, is it?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. It just turned into a floating boat that you had to push yourself.
Mm-hmm. Better be
And
ready to go swimming, boy, because you going in there
it
with
wasn't until I got older that I got into like uh RCs and the boats and stuff. Like I had a friend that I did more of mine was like the Traxxas like RC cars. Or
Mhm.
like mine I think topped out at like 115.
Yeah, see, I've never had anything like that. I've always just had the regular RC truck. I had an RC truck that I could turn the lights on and off, and then I had an RC car. Now this one was cool. It had two wheels on the back, one wheel on the front, and then it had two little things that if I click the button, it'll flip them and it'll
Flip.
flip the RC car.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And then it would. Oh man, that thing was cool.
I never had
Was.
anything that's fancy.
And I only got that stuff whenever I went to my daddy's house.
See, when I was a kid, I turned out to I got one of them like what were they, like $30 monster truck kind of looking ones. It already came with like I think this one was like a Jeep or something. I don't remember what it was, but I took apart the parts like that were in it. I extended like the suspension, stuffed it so that it wasn't so
Light.
like yeah, well like so it wasn't it wouldn't go as far down. I extended the springs
Mm-hmm.
and it still worked and everything. But I mean, I tore that thing up. I mean, and so and it worked. Like I mean, I used to throw it like living out here. I have mud holes and stuff like that, so I drive them through them, and yeah, they wouldn't survive much afterwards. But
It's
that's why I
fun to
got
do while
into
you got it.
that's why I got into like the when I was older. I think like I spent probably like $4,000 on this thing to get to like 115, and I mean, yeah, I had breaks here and there, and but I mean, yeah, I probably spent anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 on this thing, and was racing it. Had 4x4, could climb up the sidewalks and things like that. Like if I wanted it to. Um, yeah, those things are so cool. I sold it for cheap, like stupid cheap. Like I don't know, like $200, $400 cheap.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
I was just like,
Hey, I know they got some people that get into them RC cars, and you saying 115, and they got some that go a lot faster than that. A
well, yeah,
lot
well that's,
faster.
well, yeah,
And
but that's what I'm saying. Like mine was just like mainly mine was more like I could do everything with mine. Water. Uh, I had a brushless motor. So I just wanted like a car that could do everything and like the acceleration on it, because it was all-wheel drive. People would be like people like actual cars wanted to race me, and I'm like, bro.
I don't think it works that way.
Well, they don't understand. Mine is torque. It's instant. So I'm gone. And in a distance, I guess maybe, but I mean, this thing tops out at like 115. Now, granted, it will struggle to get there after like 90 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, but
But it'd get there.
it'll get there. I mean, but at that point, when depending on where we're racing,
You're doing a quarter-mile race. That's it. You already got it.
yeah, I'm already there. So like, and it's hard because like I'm sitting there having to watch a car goes down a straight line, and it's just doing this the entire time. That if I so as much turn it, it's gonna flip just instantly.
And you better hope to God there's not a pebble on the ground.
So
Better do a quick walk first, make sure it's flat.
That's why I did it the way I did, because this thing was it was not like a lowered car. This was a, like I said, I could climb sidewalks and go through mud and stuff and puddles, and it wasn't like a actual lowered car made for specific racing.
Mhm.
So it had off-road tires. I mean, what I would actually race it, I change out the tires to racing tires.
Yeah, but at 90 miles an hour, even then, still a pebble would make it go whee down the road.
Yeah, well, I mean, I never had that problem with a pebble, but it's more or less like, because everything on it is like its stability is insane, like, but it gets too much motion left or right, it's just gonna start flipping because the air it catches it.
Oh, yeah.
So, but at that speed, quarter mile, those things are so much fun, man. It's just so much fun.
Look, now you're
that
making me
trip,
want to get one of them expensive RC cars. Stop.
see,
I don't
was
know
thinking
where
about
I'd
getting-
ride it at because,
My
you know,
friend had the boat ones, man.
I'd
his-
definitely get one of the boat ones.
His would leave, rooster tails just going, and I'm like, oh my god! And I mean, his had like big motors on it and stuff. Like his
Mhm.
was a gas one, so. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
just
I've
like,
seen
man.
some of them things, man. They're like 3-4 feet long, and I'm like, man, if you're gonna have an RC car that big, you might as well just get a
Might as well
boat.
just get it.
I
The
mean,
money you put into it, you might as well.
sucker's like this wide and like
Yeah, no,
yay long.
Yeah.
Might as well just get a
narrow
boat.
body. Just
Yeah.
yeah. No, they leave those rooster tails. But yeah,
Suckers will
no,
take
they're a
off
lot of
flying.
fun. Whether you have a gas or electric, they're a lot of fun. Honestly, I don't think my thing would have been as fast if it was electric. Actually, we used to do racing outside of the shop that I'd get all my parts from. The guy would hold a little event every Friday night. People
Mhm.
would bring their like souped up gas ones, but they wouldn't want to race the electric ones that had like, big, batteries. I think mine was like I think I had like 200 of my like batteries,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah, because
I
they
mean
don't want to be like, well, I lost the one that runs off a battery.
yeah, well, it's instant torque, and I mean the parking lot's only so big, and we were only going so far, so a lot of people wouldn't want to race because of the fact that I'm gone once you're, but they'd be racing everybody else with them gas ones, and you just smell gasoline burning all throughout the parking lot. It'd be like a little lawnmower just going around,
Oh yeah.
you know. So I mean, it's crazy how they get with them like having actual motors in those things. So, but they're fun. They're cool. I mean, it's an expensive hobby. It was
Yeah.
something I did while I was in the oil field. It was, one of my. and
That's
then,
something you could really afford to do nowadays.
no, like it started because one day we were bored at the shop, and we didn't have our airsoft guns, so we went to the store and got RC cars, and they were like, "Man, these are trash. Like, what the heck?" So we went to an actual shop, and you know, when it got some, we spent like, I think I spent like 800 for mine. He only spent like 4 for his, and it was just like, so the first day I had it, I broke apart on it, and
See,
well,
this
he
is why
did.
we can't have nice things.
He broke apart on it. So we were in the shop. We set up like boards and ramps and stuff on our tools, just so.
So you spent $800 on a car and then put 4,000 into it?
No. Like I probably spent in total with the car. It was probably like 3,200 between breaking parts, replacing batteries, uh, like maintenance stuff, along with upgrading parts. Because I mean, just the little tiny the parts. The first things that I broke cost me $80, and they were little tiny plates for the suspension. It was a breaking point, that they put in so that you don't ruin your suspension. So I upgraded. That one little part cost me 80, but in total I spent like probably about 150, 160 walking out the store on other parts,
Oh wow.
and I only left with like 3 parts. And it's for a little RC car too, so it's not like it's material wise. So
Yeah, it's cheaper just to go ahead and buy a car.
Right.
so well, I mean,
Just to buy a car and tear it up. The parts are cheaper.
Unless of course
So-
it's a Ford.
Well,
yeah, no.
then you never get the chance to tear it up.
Exactly.
So, but I mean, it was a fun hobby while it lasted.
Mhm.
It was a definite attention grabber. People were like, "That thing's fast." I remember actually racing it on an actual highway one time with my mom. I was in the car with her, and I put it. I was hanging out the window racing it on an actual highway.
Wow.
We were going to the store.
Mom, see if you can beat it. Yow!
Yeah, no, that thing was moving.
Oh yeah. But Switch, you got anything else you'd like to add to? I know we got like way off track of what the original story was.
Right.
Uh,
Well,
What was
I
it
did-
again? I was
I
playing.
did. I did want to make a comment specifically pointed toward Thevno here. The
Hmm.
main focus behind most biomimicry robots will be with research and exploration where humans can't reach, whether that is search and rescue or underwater inspections. So no bombs.
Oh,
they're not made for destruction.
No,
No
except for maybe the
destructo
charger.
turtle.
if you could put a bomb on it, you can put a bomb on it.
Yeah, but I don't think we're doing that.
If it's for helping people, I guess. Okay.
I guess. So I think we're gonna go ahead and call it right here, guys. Of course, like always, we like to end it with a quote, and so this quote is actually one of mine's. If you're chasing after what the next person has, you'll never stop running. So what that means is no matter what point you get in your life, if your friend, just bought a new car or just bought a new house or whatever the case may be, and you go out and you say, well, I want a new car, or I want a new house, you will always get to that point. You may achieve that, but then the next person is going to come along and they're going to have a nicer car or a bigger house. And no matter what, no matter which point in your life you get, they will always have somebody who will either have more or better than what you have. So if you're constantly chasing after the next person and the materialistic things that they have, you'll never stop. So what you need to do is you need to enjoy what you do have, appreciate what you do have, and not worry about what everybody else has got. And I think that could resonate with a lot of people. And I think we're gonna go ahead and end it on there. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night, and we will see y'all next week. Bigger.
Y'all take it easy. Y'all be safe out in the world. Be happy.
Switch.
Hasta lasagna, don't get any onion.
Fevno.
Stay hydrated.
All right, we love y'all, and y'all have a good week.